Hello there folks, so we're back again for another video. We are just off the back of the big Warhammer preview for New Year, and I thought I would dive in and have a look at what was revealed for the World of the Mortal Realms and Warhammer Age of Sigmar as part of that New Year's reveal show. So the first big one we got was the introduction of the Ossiarch Bonereapers, which we kind of knew were coming down the pipeline. We kind of thought that we were going to be seeing some ogres as well, but unfortunately that was not the case. So if you're here for ogres, no ogres, I'm afraid. But big new Battletome coming down the pipeline for the Ossiarch Bonereapers, and that means some new miniatures as well. So we'll start off things with the Liege Cavalos on the War Chariot. So this is the brand new model for that, which as you can see is looking very nice indeed. Can be built so you can have this as a character or as a standard chariot if you prefer as well, which I think is quite nice. It comes with those newly minted bone horses. And your characters in the back as well, which is really nice. They did say that there's going to be lots of different options for you to choose from for adding accessories and things to the back of this. So if you are interested in trying to make this a little bit more unique, you do have the option to do that, which I think is quite cool. So yeah, not too bad on that front. So yes, a highly maneuverable war machine. Idea is it, and there you can see the sort of basic one as well. But the idea of it is that this will be a little bit of the hammer, so you'll lock your enemies in place with the folks on foot, and then we'll ride in with these chariots and you'll smash them to pieces with your various mounted warriors on the back of them, which I think is quite cool. So yeah, more fun stuff for the Ossiarch Bonereapers on that front, as you can see. We also then got a foot-based character for the Ossiarch Bonereapers in the form of the Liege Mawtribes, as you can see there. Comes with a couple of different weapon options for you to choose from. Nice to know that we've got a version of their sort of like liege characters, their hero characters on foot. I would imagine he's going to have pretty similar rules to most other foot heroes in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. If you know by now, they'll have a very standard stat line. And guess what? They allow another unit to activate after they've done something. The difference here with this particular version of the character and this liege Mawtribes is that they can also do that with shooting units as well. So you could almost have this fellow fight or charge into combat, and then you can have Bowman fling arrows in as he goes into the attack, which I think is quite cool. So you've got some nice little options there which kind of hark back to their more strategic nature, which I think is quite nice. And again, all tacticians in their own right. I like the head options that you get to choose from. I like the pose for this guy, and the swords cool, but I think the best version of that is the spear, because I think it fits the silhouette of the model a little bit more. If you do want to go down the route of the next thing we're going to be looking at, you've also got a head that appeals to them and the Reavers. And talking of them, actually, should we go to them? No, let's do this first. Let's do these guys first. So you also then have the Mawtribes Triaxis? I don't know. They are your archers that you're going to be using on the tabletop. Again, this builds on a Warcry warband that we've already seen, but plays around with the idea a little bit more and turns them into a fully fledged unit. They are your ranged option now for the Ossiarch Bonereapers. Famously, the undead don't tend to have much in the way of ranged firepower, but what you get here with the Ossiarch Bonereapers and these new Mawtribes is the ability to unleash, salvos and salvos of arrows at the enemy, blot out the sun perhaps, as a nice little nod to their kind of aesthetic for the Ossiarch Bonereapers. You'll also notice that they have some really fun little qualities to them. I really like that they've only got one eye, and then sort of like one at the top, but like one eye to the side, because they don't need two for firing their arrows, which is quite a nice little touch. And then they also have these little braziers that they have alongside them. So these balefire braziers are essentially when an entire unit of these fires at one enemy, you put the brazier next to them, and it stops them from healing because they've been sort of pinned down by the arrows of the enemy and set on fire, which is quite cool. Nice little touches and characterful elements to this set as well. I like that you've got this little messenger bird there, again crafted out of bone, animated by sorcery with a little message. Sort of talks back to that kind of tactical nature of the Ossiarch Bonereapers sort of how they work on the tabletop and stuff as well, which I think is quite nice. So yeah, nice little set of archers. But yes, as I was saying, if you were building this guy and you had this particular head, this might fit in with the possibly my favourite miniatures from this particular set of previews, which are the Mortis Reapers. So they are essentially your assassins for the Ossiarch Bonereapers, again hinting at that kind of Middle Eastern vibe for them as a faction. So they are sent to hunt down sorcerers, priests, all sorts of different things. As they were saying in the preview for this, they tend to be seen as sort of like not a lot of generals like them, but when they are deployed, they are hideously effective. So be able to see these leaping out of the shadows in their dark bone armor and their red cloaks to scythe down their enemies. Looking very nice indeed. If you remember the Wrath of the Titans remake film, these guys remind me very much of the wooden fellows that you got in that. So yes, that's a nice little nod as well, I suppose, which is quite cool. This will all come as part of the new Battletome for the Ossiarch Bonereapers, which will do what it says on the tin. It'll have all the rules that you'd expect for the Ossiarch Bonereapers in there, so it'll come with all of your new tactics and all that kind of thing. One thing they did talk about was that there's going to be an updated battle trait for them, so which is this one here. So the Ossiarch Bonereapers also received an updated battle trait, which reinvents the relentless discipline rule. Your heroes on the field now generate a pool of points you can spend to use various abilities. Catacross will generate 10, while Elite Mortec generates 5. With some abilities gaining power for additional points spent. They'll cover those in more detail, but allows you to essentially do lots of different things over the course of the various phases, and again gives that idea of like generals commanding an elite army on the tabletop, which is quite cool. A couple of other bits and bobs for them as well. So you've got a battle force set and a spearhead, as well as a regiment of renown, which we'll dive into. So yep, those are the characters. So this is the new one, which comes with Arkan the Black. This is his sort of like personal army, as you can see here. So a nice little set on that front. Comes with Arkan the Black himself, the Mortisan Soul Mason, 4 Morghast Archive, which can be built as Morghast Harbingers, and a unit of the 20 Mortec Guard as well. So a nice little starting point for somebody who's maybe trying to make a thematic army on the tabletop. If you've been to Warhammer World and you've seen the really nice Ossiarch Bonereapers display that they have there in the exhibition room, that might be something that inspires you to have a look at this in more detail. So this is a very elite force for Arkan that you can then obviously tag on lots of those different elements from the other the other releases in order to make a bigger force on the tabletop. You then have a new spearhead. So this is the spearhead for the Kavalos Vanguard, which is a decidedly mounted force, which is quite cool. So that's really fun to see. So this comes with, let's have a look, Liege Kavalos with 2 units of 5 Kavalos Death Riders, alongside the Tetratic Cohort, which are a series of individuals who have been twisted and turned into all sorts of strange bone creations to serve their master Nagash. But, you know, Spearhead is a fairly fast-paced game anyway, but having an entire force that is essentially cavalry or things with 4 legs certainly means that you're going to have a lot of fun charging straight into the enemy and hoping that you kick their ass and take their names as quickly as possible. So that's quite cool. So a nice spearhead on that front. And then a regiment of renown with the Heralds of the Bone Tithe, which slots quite nicely in with other death factions. So this one comes with 3 elite Immortis Guard and the 10 Mortec Guard, looking after Vok Mortian, the Master of the Bone Tithe, as you can see there too. So a nice little set for those people who want to tag something onto Soulblight Gravelords or Flesh Eater Courts, or maybe even the Night Taunt if they can be commanded to do so. So yes, lots of fun and interesting things coming down the pipeline for the Ossiarch Bonereapers. It was a little bit of a shame that the bony stuff was only for them. I kind of hoped we were going to see some lovely gluttonous stuff. Shredded bones for the ogres, but there we go. So yeah, some nice miniatures on that front. Let me know what you think of those in the comments down below. We also got to look at 2 upcoming Battletomes. So we had also been told in the previous sort of preview teaser that we were going to be getting Fyreslayers and ogres fairly soon, but it seems that they've been skipped over, or at least this is a kind of like preview of what's coming sooner than that, in the sense that we're going to be getting the Disciples of Tzeentch, or Tzeentch, however you want to say it, but also the Lumineth Realm Lords. So the Disciples of Tzeentch get themselves a new miniature in the form of the Fate Master that you can see there. Looking really nice. I love the kind of almost beetle butterfly style effect to the character. The bird over his shoulder sort of watching what's going on, like the outstretched hand manipulating things, casting magic, and that really cruel and interesting spear that speaks to some kind of eldritch intent. So a very nice champion for you to use in your games there as a spellcaster. And yeah, very nice miniature on that front. I appreciate that, even if it's just going to be one thing that gets added in. You'd also have these, which are called the Argent Shards. So they are eerie constructions that have been added into the Disciples of Tzeentch Battletome. They effectively allow you to do more stuff with your magic across larger distances. And if one of them gets destroyed, the other one can split and tear itself apart in order to become another one. So it allows you to continue your relentless barrage of arcane energies across the battlefield and have some fun with that on the tabletop as well. So nice little touch there. Also looks like it would fit in very nicely with Thousand Suns stuff, Space Marine 2, that kind of thing. So if you're building a Tzeentchian tabletop, maybe come and pick these up if you're looking for some cool terrain. And all of this, of course, will be included within the new Battletome for the Disciples of Tzeentch, which will be coming down the pipeline. So yeah, lots of fun stuff for you to dive into there, which is really cool. This will be supported by a few other bits and pieces, so you'll have a new battle force as well, which this one is the Warp Flame Cavalcade. So this one comes with, as you can see there, 3 Screamers of Tzeentch, 3 Flamers of Tzeentch, an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, a Herald of Tzeentch on Burning Chariot, and 10 of each of the Pink, Blue and Brimstone Horrors, along with Kairos himself, Kairos the Fate Weaver at the middle of that. This is obviously a decidedly more demonic battle force, as you can see, so not too many mortals popping up in this one, but could obviously be a very good starting point, or in addition to something that somebody already has. So yeah, nice little options on that front. You also then have a new Spearhead coming down the pipeline. This one will be attached to the new Battletome, I don't doubt. So this one is the Zangor Warflock, containing 3 Zangor Enlightened, 3 Zangor Skyfires, and 10 Zangors, all led by a Zangor Shaman. So if we open that one up and have a look, nice little selection of those fellows in there too. And again, no mortals. So if you already have a fairly mortal-heavy Disciples of Tzeentch army, which not a lot of people probably do have, unless you've got a lot of Kyrek Acolytes lying around, this could be a nice little addition to that later on down the line, which is quite cool. Also, again, a Regiment of Renown 2. This one's the Seekers of Silver. The Seekers of Silver being potentially a Silver Tower. So you have a Gaunt Summoner on the Disc of Tzeentch, joined by a Magister on a Disc of Tzeentch, and 3 Screamers. So slot those in and have some fun alongside other Chaos forces with a Regiment of Renown that could be added to them, so you can use those on the battlefield and get some more arcane assistance, perhaps, which is quite fun. So yes, very nice. On the other side of things, we've gone super chaos. We also then have super good, super order, I suppose, with the Lumineth Realm Lords. Kept trying to say they are. And they're getting a new Battletome alongside a new miniature in the form of the Venari Lord Regent. Really like the majority of the Lumineth Realm Lords army, although they always feel like they'd be an absolute pain in the ass to paint. But they get a really nice kind of classically elven hero to lead the way, which is here with the Venari Lord Regent, as you can see there. Can be built in a couple of different ways, which is quite cool. So you've got some nice options for you to play around with there, which I think is quite nice. So you can either have him with his sword out and his helmet off and his twin back banners, or you can have him helmeted, or her helmeted, I suppose, with sword and shield at the ready, and a little amphor on the back, which is probably carrying some Aqua Gyranis or something like that, or some precious solution from the well of the realm of Hish, potentially. So yeah, really nice stuff on that front too as well. But yeah, that will come as part of a new Battletome for them too. Gorgeous artwork on the front of that one. And again, will allow you to dive in and have some fun. You will then have, of course, new stuff coming out for them too. So you've got a Battle Force, a Spearhead, and a Regiment of Renown. Scrolling back up to the Battle Force, which is the Ilathian Warhost, which comes with Elanian and Elathor, the Eclipsian War Sages, alongside 5 Venari Braidlords, 10 Venari Aloran Sentinels, 10 Venari Aloran Wardens, and a Venari Star Shard Ballista, and 10 Idrillian Riverblades. So yes, as you can tell, it's quite late after the fact that we're doing this video. So yeah, really nice miniatures on that front, as you can see. And then a fairly funky battle force if you're playing around with there. Don't really like them, but everything else here is super cool. Love it a lot. You then have that new spearhead, which is the Huracan Vanguard. So an interesting force there that mixes a few different things together. So this contains 5 Huracan Wind Chargers and a Huracan Spirit of the Wind, alongside 10 of the Venari Aloran, which can claim your objectives. So a really nice little set for you to choose from there. Let's get a closer look at that one. Very cool if you're looking to go down that route with the Lumineth. It could be a nice little addition to an existing force as well, because you've got some core stuff there, a couple of different characters, and then of course some cavalry at the same time. And then if you are someone who wants to combat your enemies with your own magical entities, then you can also get the Sigil Convocation, which is a great little set that contains a Sicarian Calligrave alongside the Sanctum of Ametek, the Hessian Twin Stones, and the Rune of Petrification that you can use. So if you're somebody who is playing an Order army and you don't have access to enough magic, then maybe you can call on the aid of the Lumineth Realm Lords to help you in your endeavours. So yeah, quite a bunch of stuff revealed for the Mortal Realms there. Again, it's a shame that we didn't really see the addition of the Ogres into the mix, or the Fyreslayers. I was kind of hoping for that, but I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Adepticon's the next big preview, so I think we're going to be seeing them there. But yeah, nice new stuff for the Ossiarch Bonereapers if you're interested in that army and seeing that get fleshed out properly. So lots of fun bits and pieces in there for you to make some different armies on the tabletop. And then some new stuff coming down the pipeline for what they're going to be doing for the Lumineth Realm Lords, who don't really get that much. They get that new character, and then that's about it. Seems to be the case with a lot of these forces, where a lot of the core of the army is effectively already done and dusted, and they've kind of laid the groundwork for them already, so you don't need to add too much onto them. It is a little bit of a shame that Disciples of Tzeentch don't get anything particularly new apart from that one character, but then I suppose, again, they're fairly kind of done, so not really much you could add to them, I suppose. Maybe more mortals would have been nice. But yeah, some interesting bits and pieces for Warhammer Age of Sigmar for you to sink your teeth into and have some fun. If I was going to choose some favourites from what we've seen, I really like this new model. I think the Fate Master looks absolutely bloody awesome. And I am also a fan, definitely, of these. I love the Mortis Reapers. I think they are super cool and a really nice addition to the Ossiarch Bonereapers force. They're so nice, I might actually just get some anyway, just to paint them, because they look lovely. But yeah, so yeah, that's it for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar preview. I'm sure people will be diving into what's happening for Warhammer 40,000 and everything else as well, but I'm not as much of a fan of that as I am of fantasy. So yeah, as you can see by my channel. So yes, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Remember, there are links down in the description to everything you've seen here, as well as affiliate link for Firestorm Games, and also my Ko-fi as well. So if you are interested in following along with what I do and you want to see more of my ramblings, please donate and yeah, have some fun. The main thing though is getting stuck into the comments and chatting away, because I love responding to all of your comments and all of your thoughts. So please share your thoughts down below, and we will carry on and have a lovely weekend, hopefully filled with hobby for you all as well. So yes, I'm going to move on and get ready for more videos. There'll be one more on Sunday, so watch out for that. And yeah, bye for now.